The Mirrorverse is one of the brand new locations in the Rift update, and not only does it give you a bunch of pretty neat rewards, but it also gives you a time charm. And on top of this, it does require a bit of a guide, so let's get right into it. To start off here, we're actually just inside the Mirrorverse entrance. In order to enter, you're going to want to walk down these stairs at the back of the West Village. It will take some time from you, but keep in mind that you won't lose time while you're within the Mirrorverse. To start with the first puzzle, you may notice that there are some levers on this wall, which is a reflection of you. You can also see Dr. Emmett over there. He's actually in the real world as well. You can click on him when you see these blue little particles. He sometimes gives you a little bit of information about the room you're in, and if you've completed it, he actually lets you teleport to any of the rooms you've previously been. To complete this puzzle though, all you need to do is right click on every single one of these blocks. Once you do that, the door opens and you can walk right through. The next puzzle is pretty simple as well. Simply go into F5, I think this is a little bit easier if you do that, and follow the pathway along. There isn't really too much special about this, so we can just go to the next puzzle. The third puzzle is where things get interesting. Now this one's also fairly basic. There are a bunch of mobs around the room and you can kill them in order to get the items they have. Now killing them is kind of weird and finicky because obviously they're in a mirror universe, but they do drop reverse items. This is essentially what you're going to be needing to do. You're going to kill all these mobs, and you're going to get the items necessary. Then you're going to craft 2 bows, 2 fishing rods, and a lead. Then, once you do that, you're going to put them into the crafting menu, but backwards. So basically you're going to do a fishing rod at the bottom, the middle, a bow at the top, a bow on the left side, and a lead on the top left. Note that all the crafting recipes for the lead, bows, and also fishing rods are backwards as well. Keep that in mind when making them. I know it seems kind of confusing, but you can always look up the Minecraft crafting interface and the menus and recipes for those items, and then just, horizontally or vertically flip it. And once you do that, the door will open. Now for the mirror parkour room. This is the first of a couple of them. In order to do this, what you're going to need to do is look up at the ceiling. You can essentially just walk through and look up and find where you need to jump next. But something else you can do, which I think is interesting, is actually hop in lava a little bit to get ahead a little bit faster. Keep in mind there is also a hardcore version of this, which makes you no longer impervious to lava. Let me demonstrate what this looks like. If I go back to the start, you can see there's a little button here, and if you turn on hard mode, essentially the moment you fall in the lava, you will immediately be launched back to the start. So you do need to follow everywhere, properly, and you can only stand on blocks for a certain amount of time, otherwise they will break. This is a much harder challenge, and I recommend trying it if you really want to, but once again, you don't need to do it, it just rewards you with a talisman. If you actually end up completing the entire parkour run on hard mode, and by the way, don't look at the fact that I tried to do this 118 times, you get a neat little talisman. It's 0.5 true defense, and it's rift transferable. I don't think it's that huge of a deal, but hey, it's free XP, and also it's free magical power, which is pretty nice. Next up, we have the reason you are probably here, the red and green puzzle. How this works is that one side is green, and one side is red. When the side is green, you're actually able to move, and you can see your reflection move in that wall. And when it's red, your reflection is stuck in a state, and actually it can interact with the environment. Even if I move around, you can see that my red reflection is stuck on the wall and on that pressure plate opening this door. That is the first section, by the way. To start off here, you're going to essentially walk backwards while clicking on the side that's furthest from you. And that's gonna, set your guy inside that little, wall barricade thing. And you can swap sides and do it again. You're gonna keep doing this. It's not really that hard. This isn't the one that you probably had trouble with, but for, all intents and purposes, I might as well show off everything. Once you did all of those, you can walk through the gate. Now we get to the difficult ones. To do this third puzzle, all you really need to do is begin by stepping on this pressure plate. You'll notice that your character disappears because probably it's too close to Dr. Emmett, but if you hop off and on the pressure plate, you can see the difference. Once you get it on, you just swap sides. Once you swap sides, you're going to walk through this door, and then click this button. You'll notice that this button actually launches you into the air after a short period of time. All you need to do is click the button, and walk over to this door. Now you might be wondering, well, the door is locked, but it's actually pretty easy to open it. You just have to move over to the corner and then hop inside. Once that's done, you can swap over to the other side, which will then allow you to stand on the pressure plate, which opens the door on the bottom, and then swap sides again. that'll keep the other character on the pressure plate, which keeps this door open. This next room is completely optional, but I will show you how to do it because you do get a talisman for completing it. This last room is fairly difficult, probably the most difficult in this entire room. But all you need to do is stand on this pressure plate and then swap sides, move over to this little doorway and then press this button. Next you're going to walk over to this corner of the room and press a lever. Walk back over to the button and press the button again, which will now let you go into this new open door. Let me just do that properly. And there we go. Next you're going to want to stand on this pressure plate, which is in the corner of this reflection wall. Then hop over to the other side with a new button there. Simply press that button. I'll stand here and demonstrate how it does indeed work. There we go. So you want to press that and then hop out. It'll launch you up to here. It'll let you stand on this pressure plate, which actually opens up to the other side. But you're going to want to do a couple things here at the same time. Essentially what you're going to want to do, and this sounds weird, trust me, you're going to want to press a button that's actually right here in this block. If you stand on this block and then you look halfway through it, you can see I just got launched. So what you're going to want to do is press this and then run down. Once you do that, you'll actually get launched after a little bit, and you'll be able to stand on this pressure plate. Next, the room to the next room, or door to the next room, will open, and so will this little chest, with a big brain talisman. This is rift transferable, and you can take it out. I don't know if this is the specific way they want you to do this puzzle, but that's how I did it, and I think it's pretty neat. This next room is literally hell, like the worst place in the entire game. It's basically just a puzzle minigame thing where you have to move on certain blocks, and when ping is good, it's mostly fine, but it gets really bad after a while. You're going to want to have to sneak on certain blocks, stand on others, and then sneak again. And I'm going to go for as long as I can, but I don't think I'm going to get it first try. This puzzle was really difficult when I first tried it, and I only got through because someone else did, and the floor opened up beneath me. If you can get your friend to do it for you, it works. But as you can see, it doesn't always work. Sometimes you can do what it asks you to, and it just doesn't work. In my opinion, this puzzle should be optional, but hey, what do I know? After the dance room, we have the tubulator, which is my favorite puzzle in the game. Make sure you talk to Dr. Emmett. It says it in chat, but if you miss it, make sure you do. He gives you this item, which is a new laser pointer. How this works is you can actually click on blocks in the other world, and it makes it appear in the main world. This is a really cool puzzle jumping mechanic that I really like. All you have to do is, well, click on the blocks in the fake world, and then you can just go through. There is a reward for doing this entire puzzle without using any of the checkpoints, and you get checkpoints after every level, so don't feel bad if you need to use them. You can always just come back here later after you've completed the entire puzzle and go for the talisman. And honestly, this parkour isn't too hard in my opinion. There isn't like anything crazy, no triple neos or anything like that. It's just some pretty decent jumps, and if you mess it up, that's fine. You can always just go back to the bottom. I do really like the concept here though. It's really well, executed and really interesting from a gameplay perspective. So great job, admins. Once again, I'm just going to show off the rest of the puzzle here. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Pretty long jump here. There we go. And there we go. Oof. Alrighty, and once you're at the top, you actually get this pretty cool item, the miniaturized tubulator. Now, you can't get multiple of them, or at least you can only have one in your inventory at a time, but it says here, don't hate the player, hate the game, it's co-op soulbound, and it's rift transferable. It's pretty neat, it's an uncommon accessory, and it's the last thing you can do in the Mirrorverse, which I think was a pretty good, challenge. Really well executed, really interesting mechanics, and I really like it, except for the dance room, which is terrible. Once you've completed everything, you can walk over to Dr. Emmett and click on him again. He actually has a shop that you can go to, which has a few interesting items. Notably, it gives you 60,000 motes when you first complete it, a Mirrorverse time charm when you first complete it, which you can get for 10,000 motes, and 10 shadow cruxes. For 12 shadow cruxes and the wild chain top, you can get the iron chest plate, which is, well, reversed, and you can get a reflection book for 16 and 5,000 motes. All of these items are pretty neat, and I think reflection might not be too bad, all things considered. You actually get 3 books when you get this. Overall, so far I've been enjoying my time in the Rift a lot. These mechanics and puzzles were really well executed, and I'm really glad to see them added to the game, as it gives people something to do. The new talismans are tough to earn, but definitely not impossible, and I really recommend you try out some of these puzzles yourself. You might come to some different conclusions and solutions. At the end of the day though, my name is Derailious, thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and look to the future fellas, because I will see you then.